Ian Eagle joining us here on the show. How are you, Ian?
I'm great. Thank you so much, Rick. That was amazing just to hear it again and experience it again.
It's so great.
Really a cool day.
I mean, for me, I've got a 9, a 7, and a 4 at home. Right now, I'm just trying to deal with my 9-year-old getting an oops note because he didn't do all of his homework, apparently. But he does carry the 1 outstandingly well for his math. My 7-year-old sometimes puts his finger in his mouth a little bit too much. I can't even imagine one day being able to have a moment like that. What was it like for you, Ian?
Yeah, I didn't even have the heart to tell Noah that he was adopted. Like, we've gone all this time keeping it a secret. And for it to come out this way.
No, but hey, look, for the radio audience, just seeing the 2-shot is no way.
Yeah.
This kid, unless there is a hell of an Ian Eagle looking like mailman or milkman in the neighborhood.
Well, it's funny. He asked me, Rich, who inspired my look. Yes. And the reality is I've been going for the combo John Oliver McLovin look for like 3 years, and nobody caught on until now. So I just have to just plow forward with what I got.
Oh man, that's great. And what was it like for him when you're done with that chat, Ian?
Oh yeah, we don't really speak, so I don't know.
You don't want to go. You don't want to go warm and fuzzy here. You know what? You're avoiding the warm and fuzzy. I mean,
no, it's been a huge treat to see everyone's reaction because that's always been our dynamic. It's just that it's the first time that people have seen the back and forth, the sarcasm, and we've always had that kind of relationship. He's a great young man, and I'm beyond proud. And even if he didn't do the Syracuse-Miami game, I'd still be beyond proud. He's a great kid.
That's neat, man. Again, and the number of I know you're not on Twitter and Facebook and all that business, but the number of times that people shared that video, it was through the roof. So a lot of people got a chance to see that. So that was really good. All right, now let's talk about the Brooklyn Nets.
I want to hear this transition.
No, there isn't one. There is no transition. There's zero. There's not a single bit of transition about this. So what is the gig that you're working on now? I mean, you're getting ready for the tournament, right? The Brooklyn Nets games. That's where have I found you essentially right now?
Yeah. I head to Charlotte tomorrow for the Nets and the Hornets.
Okay.
And then back on the college basketball beat, I have Florida, Kentucky coming up.
Okay.
I've got the Atlantic 10 Championship coming up. I've got the NCAA tournament coming up. So it's a fun time of year. And I do think we've said this before. It seems to pop up year after year with college hoops that, it's wide open. And when teams that you normally don't think of potential national championships have gotten themselves into the conversation, I think it's even deeper than it's been in previous years where we could say, maybe 7 or 9 teams could win it. This year, I really think we could say 18 to 20 teams could win this thing. And I don't know if we've been able to honestly say that for a long time. The Blue Bloods are who they are, and I think Duke is going to be a machine once they get into that time of year. But it's already been proven this year. All of these teams are beatable. And I do think there's probably more parity than there's been in a long time.
So the 1 seeds, who do you think they're going to be? We're a couple weeks out, but what do you got for me on that front?
Michigan State's a clear one. Virginia's a clear one. Villanova's a 1. And then that 4th number 1 is yet to be determined. You've got a few different candidates there. I think Duke still can get themselves into that conversation. And you've got a few teams on the periphery that might be able to lay claim to it. There were teams that caught my eye earlier in the season. I thought Purdue went on a really impressive run where it looked like Matt Painter's team would be a legitimate threat to win a national championship. They've come back down to earth, and now let's see what their second act looks like. But it's one of those years where you can honestly say it's going to be a pick 'em kind of scenario. There's just not that big a gap between the top teams and then the second and third tier.
So my audio executive, my as he likes to be known, my sound guy, Mike Del Tufo, wants to sound smart. Give him one. Give him the name that you definitely want to say for the one seed. I know
Xavier.
That's it. He wants to say Xavier.
Yeah,
Sounds smart.
I agree that the loss to Villanova didn't help.
Yep.
I don't think it should take them out of the mix. You know, we tend to look at the geography of things, but I don't think this year that's going to be the case. I think Xavier and Chris Mack, I had them last year in the tournament, and every year they're impressive. He has a way of finding guys that fit what he likes to do, coaches them up, and every year the common thread has been how hard they play, and their sets, their system is real. That carries over year to year, no matter what talent that he has. He's one of the top coaches in the country.
So do you think my Wolverines should hoist a 2013 championship banner in Chrysler Arena? What do you think?
Yeah,
I'd like
is
to do
a
that.
weird feeling, right? Because Syracuse actually would have won the Big East tournament that year as well, and that's interesting that you bring that up after the Louisville stuff. I think
no banner raising.
No, I think no banner raising, but I think you should feel really good about what John Beilein has gotten out of this year's team.
Look, it's every year. Ian, it's every year. This guy coaches the kids up that he has. He knows his system. He knows who to plug into it. And they are always ready to roll when the Big Ten tournament rolls around. And the way he conducts himself, I am. Look, I know that this might be heresy to those from the 70s who remember Johnny Orr. I think he's the greatest Michigan basketball coach ever. Period.
Yeah, I don't think that's too strong a statement where you should get pushback. He's been that good, that consistent, and he's doing it some years with NBA players and other years without NBA players. That's just the bottom line for Michigan. It's not a guarantee that you're producing 2 or 3 draft picks a year. It's been an amalgam through his time there, and he's done it before. He's done it everywhere that he's gone. One of my best memories of calling the NCAA tournament was John Beilein coaching at West Virginia with Kevin Pittsnoggle, Mike Ganzi. Yeah.
Greatest name ever.
Names where they become verbs somehow in our March Madness lexicon. Like, oh, he got Pittsnoggled. It's amazing what he's done year after year, and he also does it with the utmost class, and there's a humanity there as well. When you sit down with him, you see that. It's not just about the W. It's everything that goes into it.
So when did Noah tell you he wanted to be a sportscaster? When did that come down?
He hasn't yet. Yeah, he hasn't mentioned it yet.
He hasn't even?
I'd say he was about 12 when he really started thinking about this as something that he'd like to pursue. And, you know, Rich, as you know, because you lived it, no one has a clear path on how to do this. I think there are more avenues in which to practice and get reps than ever before. And the way that the business is set up now, there are actually more opportunities than ever before. It doesn't necessarily mean that you could make a living doing it, but there are more chances and more options out there. But you still have to go figure it out yourself. And talent wins out in this business. You could know a guy who knows a guy who knows a guy. You could be the son of an announcer. You could be a nephew. All of that means very little once the red light goes on. So I'm just really proud of how hard he's worked to get to this point and the confidence that he showed at such a young age.
Now, did he also follow in your footsteps as well as being a ball boy at the U.S. Open of Flushing Meadow, New York?
No.
He never did that like you did?
He was more like George Costanza. He was eating ice cream in the stand. That was the extent of his U.S. Open experience. He would come out there and watch. But no, he never pursued the art of the ball boy.
Now, Jimmy Connors cursed you out, right? That happened one time?
Oh, he crushed me. Yes. Connors absolutely tattooed me in Forest Hills.
Why?
And
well, do you recall?
How do I say this delicately? Oh, I recall to every little detail. Absolutely. We have a saying in the ball boy trade, Rich. There are 6 balls in play.
Yes.
But when you're one of the back ball boys, you want to have 2 balls. Mm-hmm. Your partner back there also should have 2 balls, and the server should have 2 balls. Mm-hmm. So the goal is to balance the balls. Mm-hmm. That's the goal. That's a term. I'm not just tossing it out there. That's a real ball boy term. So basically, to make a long story short, I had 3 balls. Yeah, I know. That's not supposed to happen. So before Jimmy went into his whole service routine, I bounced one of the balls to my partner, and he whipped his head around. He was losing the match at the time. I think it was Connor's Gerolitis. And he laced into me like nobody's business. He crushed me like a bug. And I can't get into some of the vocabulary that was used. But at one point, he did ask me if I was an idiot. And I was told, before you take the job, you do not talk to the players. But I had to answer the question. He was staring directly at me, and I said, no, I'm not. And he then laced into me more. But he came back and won the match. So I felt like I played some role in motivating him. He needed things to fire him up. He needed something to put a chip on his shoulder. Yep. So I think I provided that.
Well, now it's that famed yet to be mentioned 3-ball moment in the Connor's Gerolitis annals, if you will.
Let's not talk of this again.
Great chatting with you. Great chatting with you, Ian. A great moment with Noah. Great moment with Noah.
Rich, thank you so much. And for Brockman, if I could just one call. I'm just going to work one call in here.
Okay.
Brockman fires for 3. Got it. A code red for Brockman.
Not going to lie, that's the highlight of my life.
You know, Ian, that John Sterling is going to use Judge and Drury, and Giancarlo hits it a stand-ton. You know that. He's got that in his arsenal.
I don't even have to say a full word. That's when you know you've made it. There are a few guys where you just do an impression of a sound, a guttural sound. You're like, yeah,
that's him.
I know who that.
That's Sterling. Well, Noah's got something to aim for in his career. There you go.
Impressions.
Take care, Ian. That's it's one and only Ian.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.